responsibility now for the explosion that injured more than 24 people.
According to the Associated Press, the suspected terrorist is being held for questioning under the Terrorism Act. He has not been charged, though, or even identified.
Police will reportedly transfer the man to a London police station and question him there. This as authorities raise the terror threat to critical, meaning another attack could happen at any day. For comment on this, we're now going to bring in Nigel Farage, former UK Independence Party leader and Fox News contributor. Good morning. You know, they say authorities are saying another attack could be imminent. This shouldn't surprise anybody. You know, the leading officials say there are up to 35,000 radicals in the UK, 3,000 of which are worrying to your intelligence services, 500 under constant surveillance. Does the UK really have its arms around this problem?
No, I think part of the problem here, and you know, we hear the Prime Minister after each of these attacks saying we're going to step up and we're going to put more resources in. I don't think at any stage of this that our leaders have really contemplated the scale of the problem that we face. And I think part of the reason for that is that they themselves are responsible for much of it. You know, I was saying a couple of years ago that we must get the military involved to leave the police freer to get on with things. We're now hearing that finally, perhaps that may happen. And the other thing I find extraordinary is we still, in the whole of this country, only have just over 6,000 police officers who've got weapons. That's all. The rest of them are not routinely armed. And if you think back to the London Bridge attacks, where the terrorist got out of a van, a police officer on duty with a baton went up, confronted them, was stabbed. He survived, I'm pleased to say. Now, had he had either a gun or at least a taser, he could have stopped that attack happening in Borough Market. So I don't think we're gearing up quickly enough to this. I think we're always behind the curve.
Yeah, well, that is what President Trump was warning about. He was tweeting yesterday morning when this was all breaking over in London. He said the travel ban into the United States should be far larger, tougher, and more specific. But stupidly, that would not be politically correct. And in response to that, I'm sure you saw Theresa May with her press conference yesterday, and she spoke about President Trump and his tweet. Here's what she said in response.
I never think it's helpful for anybody to speculate on what is an ongoing investigation. As I've just said, the police and security services are working to discover the full circumstances of this cowardly attack and to identify all those responsible.
What do you make of that?
Well, look, whether Trump is right in that the people behind this were known to the authorities already, we don't yet know. But I'll tell you something, in most cases, the pattern is very clear. These are young males who've dropped out of education, who've drifted into drugs and extreme forms of Islam, and in nearly every single case, they are known to the authorities. So my suspicion is that Trump will be proved to be right. And the real question that Theresa May's got to confront is, what do we do with the 3,000 people living in Britain who are suspected terrorists? 500 of them have a permanent trail, the rest don't. And that is something the British government is going to very seriously have to get to grips with.
You say mobilize the military. Is that an admission that the military is effectively doing homeland defense, that you've been invaded silently by the enemy? Well,
I've been saying for some years that we have a fifth column now living within our country who hate us and want to kill us. And when I first said that about 5 years ago, it was deemed to be very unpopular, but sadly, it's proved to be true. In terms of our policing numbers in this country, since 2010, we've had quite a big cut in police numbers in this country. So we've literally been getting everything wrong. And short term, if we use the army on the streets to leave the police freer to follow these 3,000 people and to try and get on top of this problem, that it's a good thing to do. And it's an admission, not so much that we've been invaded, it's an admission that government has not understood just how serious this problem is.
And you see the results. They're not good over there. I don't mean to attack your homeland, but the results aren't good. I want to switch gears now. Hillary Clinton was on another network, and she said the following, and I want your reaction to it. Listen.
Hoping that on the really big issues, there's enough authority to be able to restrain and contain the president. That's what we all have to hope, because I think this president and some of the people around him pose a clear and present danger to our country.
You know, the word clear and present danger, that's not like, I don't like the guy. Clear and present danger means something. How do you react?
It means extreme sour grapes, and it means, of course, that had she won, she wouldn't have said a thing about Kim firing missiles over Japan. And I don't know about clear and present danger. I remember in the debates that took place, because I was there at all of them, I remember when terrorism was being talked about, Hillary couldn't even name Islamic terrorism. She wouldn't even use the term. She's so politically correct. And at least Trump wants to try and do something about it. If I was an American citizen, I'd feel a lot safer living under President Trump than I would have under President Hillary.
Well, yeah, in addition to the clear and present danger those men at Benghazi experienced when she decided to do nothing, in addition to the clear and present danger when you unleash your emails on an unsecure server.
And frankly, when you've lost, and, you know, you've been in public life in America for 30 years, you've gone for the big tilt, you've lost, it's better to bow out and retire gracefully.
Exactly. That is very well said. Nigel, always good to have you on.
Thanks, Nigel.
Thanks so much. Good to get your perspective.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. He's